الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ربنا زدنا علما أجمعين وعلمنا الكتاب آمين. So, before we talk about the homework, let's do some verb practice, inshallah. So the verb sheet, take it out. Let's do sakana. Sakana is in the first column and it means?
Sakana, he lived, right?
He lived, right? To live, or like to live in a place. Sakana. Yeah. To reside or to live. So if I want to say like he lived in a big house, right? You could say sakana fi baytin kabirin. Something like that. How about Brother Anwar? Sorry, Najib.
Sakana, sakanu, sakanat, sakanata, sakana.
How would you say that with hunna?
Sakana.
So you're going to put sukoon plus noon with a fatha. So that's basically like saying
Sakana.
sakanna. Sakanna. For anta is?
Sakanat, sakata.
Put a sukoon plus a
Sakana.
plus a
Sakanat.
No, Sakanta.
Sakanta, okay.
sakanta.
Sakanta. Sakanta, sakantuma, sakantum, sakanti, sakantuma, sakantuna, sakana.
I
Sakantu,
tu
sakana,
sakanna.
sakana.
So just like this one is going to be
No, Alif.
sakanna with a shadda, noon alif.
Yeah.
Sakanna. Okay. What's he lived?
Sakana,
Sakana. She lived?
sakanat,
Sakanat. You lived, man?
sakanata,
Sakanta.
Sakanta. Better remember the shadda, sukoon on the third one. They all lived, a group of men.
sakanu,
Sakanu. I lived.
sakana, sakanatu,
Sakantu. And we lived.
sakana.
Sakanna.
It's so similar, that's why it's a little confusing.
A little tricky.
That.
How about shakara, which is below that one, sakana. Shakara means he?
Thank.
Thank, shukar, right? Sister Alia, how about that one?
Shakara,
Mhm,
shakara,
mhm.
shakaru, shakarat. I mean shakarat.
Shakarat,
Yeah. No, shakirat. Shakarat.
shakara. So the kaf doesn't
Shakarata.
change.
Shakarat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you say
Kahuna,
shakarat? Shakara, shakata, shakarata,
good.
shakarana,
How do you say with hunna?
shakarana,
Shakarna, right?
Shakarna.
Shakarna.
shakarata,
Mm-hmm.
shakartuna,
Mhm.
shakartun, shakarti, shakartuna, shakartunna, shakartu, shakarna,
Excellent. Huwa,
shakara,
hiya,
shakarti. No,
Shakarat.
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 And anta,
Shakartu. Anta, shakarta,
shakarta. And hum,
shakartuma. No, shakartu.
Hum.
Shakaru.
shakara, shakara,
Shakaru.
shakaru.
Shakaru,
For
sorry.
hum is shakaru, it's okay. Anti,
Shakarti.
shakarti. Ana,
Shakartu.
okay. So the reason we're doing these, and I'm going to keep doing these every class, is because we want to be good on these, Do you want to be firm on these before we go into present tense? So on next week, inshallah, we're going to be starting present tense, but we have to be really, really solid on past tense.
Next
So-
week, like next Monday.
Yeah, what's next Monday?
21 or something.
23rd, right? So how many classes? I want to have like at least 2 classes to...
Yeah, that's today, Wednesday, and Friday.
Today's the 16th, so so we'll have next Monday and Wednesday, and then 27th is Friday. So I think that'll be like the night before the Ramadan, maybe.
Are we gonna continue through Ramadan?
No, we're gonna be doing something else, but it's not gonna be a class in the masjid. Tabakha, he cooked. Sister Shireen.
Tabakha,
Mhm,
tabakha, tabaku, tabakat,
mhm,
tabakata,
mhm.
tabakatna,
What's for hunna?
tabakatna,
Tabakhna.
Tabakhna, right?
Tabakhna,
Mhm,
tabakhta, tabaktuma, tabaktum,
mhm.
tabakti, tabaktuma, tabaktunna, tabaktu, tabakhna,
Good. What's she cooked?
tabakshi, tabak,
Tabakhat.
Tabakhat. Rakhat. What's they all cooked? A group of women.
Tabakhna,
Tabakhna, right? Tabakhna. What's you cooked, man?
tabakta,
Tabakhta. We cooked.
tabakhna,
Tabakhna. Khalaqa. Sister Tahira.
Khalaqa,
Mhm,
khalaqa, khalaqu,
mhm,
khalaqat,
mhm,
khalaqata,
mhm,
khalaqna,
mhm,
khalaqta, khalaqtuma,
mhm.
khalaqtum, khalaqti, khalaqtuma, khalaqtunna, khalaqtu, khalaqna.
Excellent. He created.
Khalaqa,
Khalaqa. And for whom?
khalaqu,
Khalaqu. And for antunna.
khalaqna.
Antunna. You all, a group of women.
Khalaqtunna.
Khalaqtunna, right? So you just take the tunna and you just put it. We created.
Khalaqna.
Khalaqna. Okay. Alright, and one more thing I'll introduce. It's a new verb, but it's not, you won't understand all of it yet, but I'm just showing it because it's a very, very common word in the Quran. And that is kana. What's kana mean? He was. He was. So obviously this is incomplete, right? You can't say it like ذهب, he went, or khalaqa, he created. He created as it's a complete thought. So kana is not complete, but there's stuff that comes after kana. We're not going to go into what stuff comes after kana and what is it grammatically and stuff like that, but we'll just conjugate it so that you can recognize it when it comes in the Quran. Okay? And the pattern that we're going to be molding kana on is the same pattern we molded another common verb in the Quran, which is qala, which means he said. Okay. So let's go over qala first. How do you say he said? Qala.
Qala.
Two of them.
Qala.
Qala. So right, you're just conjugating it like a regular verb. Qala. And then they said, group of them.
Qalu.
Qalu. Let me erase this. Is there a So if you already have qala written down, just wait for me to get to kana. But if you don't, that's fine. Alright, so huwa is qala. Huma is qala. So you're following the same rules as any other verb. And then hum is qalu with an alif. What's for she said?
Qala.
Qalat. Okay. For two of women,
Kalata.
qalata, qalata. Okay, but when we get to hunna, what happens?
It's qulna.
Qulna, right? So what letter are you dropping?
Ali.
The alif. The alif gets dropped, and the qa. See, all of these ones, qa, 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 qa. What does the qaf have? A fatha.
It gets.
It becomes a dhamma. So we're gonna learn the reason for that coming in the later chapters, but just know it for now so that you can recognize it in the Quran. So all of these now are qulna, qulta, qultuma, qultum, qulti, qultuma, qultunna, qultu, qulna. Okay, so all of them qul, and then the subject is all the same. Kana is gonna be the same thing. So he was kana. What's for two of them? They were
Kana.
kana. So I'm gonna write the same thing with an alif. Kana. Okay? And for all of them they were
Kanu.
kanu.
Nun waw alif.
Kanu. And then she was
Kanat.
kanat. And then
Kanata.
kanata. So write this and then give me a second.
No, kunna, right? Kunna or kunna. Kana.
Is it kanat or kata?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Kanat. Yeah. Kana. So kana, kana, kanu, kanat, kanata. Just like qulna, we're gonna take out the alif and we're gonna put in a noon, and then the kaf instead of a fatha becomes a
Dhamma.
dhamma. So kun plus na. So in this case it's like kunna, but you'll just write it like this for a group of women. Kunna. Okay. This is just so it's kunna. Okay. What's anta? You were.
Kunta.
Kunta. Two of you were.
Kuntuma.
Kuntuma. You all were.
Kuntum.
Kuntum. What's she? You were female.
Kunti.
Kunti.
Kuntuma.
Kuntuma.
Kuntunna.
Kuntunna. I was.
Kuntu.
Kuntu. And we were.
Kunna.
Kunna.
So that kunna and this kunna is just with
The
alif.
spelling is different.
Yeah.
So this is noon alif kunna for nahnu. Nahnu. Nahnu kunna. I think this is the second most common verb in the Quran after qala. There's actually a list of most common verbs in the Quran. I'm trying to find it. Stop. Can anyone pull up the web, like can they have Quran.com?
So, kana, what is the meaning of kana?
Kana is an incomplete verb. It means
he was.
he was. So it'll usually be followed by like kana musliman, he was a Muslim.
So kana would be they were.
Kanu.
Kanu.
Yeah. Two of them would be kana.
It's more common than inna.
Yeah, but inna is not a verb. I'm looking for just verbs.
Two of also would be they were, right? Or no?
Kana.
Yeah, that would be they were. Both of them they were.
Two of them they were. But yeah. Alright, so let's go through the whole list. Just saying it. Okay, ready? Kana.
Kana.
Go ahead. Kana.
Kana.
Kanu. Kanat.
Kanat.
Kanata. Kunna. Kunta. Kuntuma. Kuntum. Kunti. Kuntuma. Kuntunna. Kuntu. Kunna. Okay. Alright, here it is. Corpus. Here it is. Alright. Somewhere here. Syntactic. Message board. syntactic tree bank. I don't know. Yeah, there's this thing called the syntactic tree bank on Quran. If you go to Quran.com, and then there's a Quran corpus, or corpus.quran.com. Corpus.quran.com. So it's linked to Quran.com, but it's basically a website. Like it's like an analysis of all of the words in the Quran. And then it'll give you like the grammatical breakdown of all of them.
Corpus.
Yeah, Corpus.
Is it that word for word one?
Yeah, so basically. But anyway, I can't pull up the list now, but yeah, Quran. Alright, let's go over the list that we got for homework. So it should be pretty simple.
One question. Up to Kanata, that's kaf has alif with that, right?
Yes.
And
just like
after
Qadr,
that, yeah, after that we drop alif and
drop the alif, and
kaf
the
and
noon,
noon
yeah,
yeah.
the kaf gets a dhamma.
gets together. Okay.
Alright, so this was it was just a simple exercise of figuring out the roots. So the first one was given, so you had to go from right to left. So you read the word, read the meaning, point out all the roots, and then you have all of the roots in this. Okay? So masjidon, the roots are sajada. And sajada means he prostrated or to prostrate. Number one, Brother Najmul. What's the word and read the definition?
Talibun, a student is seeker of knowledge.
And what are the roots?
Roots, Toa, La, La, and Ba.
Ta, lam, and ba.
Or Lam and Ba.
And what are the roots stand for?
To seek or desire.
To seek or to desire or to gain, right? Or to look for, basically. Sister Alia, read the next one?
Muftah or
Miftah.
sorry. A key, and the roots are fataha.
Fataha, which means
Open.
to open, right? Or he opened, fataha. So that was pretty simple. Also, another word from the same roots. What's the word for open? Something is open. I think it was like in book one, way back.
Fatih.
Maftuh.
Oh.
Maftuh. Yeah, I think it was in book one, like al-babu maftuhun
Mhm.
wal-baytu maghluqun or something. Maftuhun. Okay, it's open. Shireen, next one.
Qura'a is
Qira'atun,
Qira'atun.
which means
To recitation.
a recitation, right?
So Qura'a, so Kaf,
Qa,
Qa, Ra, and Alif.
is it
Alif.
alif?
Hamza.
It's hamza. So the alif is, when you write qara'a, the roots you're writing are actually, the hamza is sitting on, the chair of the hamza is the alif. The chair can change, okay, but the hamza is not going to change. So the roots you would say are qaf, ra, and hamza. It's not alif.
So we don't say alif, we just
We write alif as the seat of the qara'a, but you don't use it, yeah. And then what does qara'a mean?
To read.
To read or to recite. The next one is Sitara.
Sualun,
Su'alun.
question?
Question. Is that in Bangla too?
No.
Okay, it's another one. What about jawab?
No, but we understand.
You know that one.
No, sometimes we tell people.
Jawab.
Jawab,
Sawal
yeah.
jawab.
Yeah.
But okay, what are the roots in Arabic?
Its root word is sin and alif and lam.
Okay, so this one is just like the qara'a.
So hamza.
It's a hamza. It's a hamza sitting on a chair of
Wow.
wow. So basically think of the hamza as like I don't know, like he's like, he can go anywhere, okay? So he's like a very like, think of it like a very fast child, okay? He wants to sit in different seats. Sometimes he sits on an alif, then he goes off of it, then he sits on a wow.
Yeah.
You'll even see it sitting on a
Yeah.
yeah. And sometimes it just sits by itself. So you'll see
I was
the
looking
hamza.
at this mark sheet
Yeah.
and we have here seen Ali, Hamza on Alif and Lam.
Exactly. So what is sa'ala? The hamza is sitting on a
Wow.
Ooh,
in sa'ala in this one
Alif,
in an alif.
yeah.
So
that's
the
what I
seat
thought.
can change, but the hamza stays the same.
Okay, this is because of him or Hua, right?
Yeah. Well, no.
Sitting
Sa'ala when you say sa'ala, it's hamza on an alif. But su'al, because there's a dhamma before the hamza, it sits on a waw.
Okay.
So the root would be seen wow or alif.
Sin hamza alif.
Alif.
Sin hamza lam. Sin
Hamza,
hamza lam. Yep. Sa'ala. And sa'ala means
To ask,
to ask.
sorry.
Rather than the next one.
Matbakhun, a kitchen.
And the roots.
Twa, ba, and kha,
Good. And they mean
to cook,
to cook. So matbakhun is a place of cooking.
kitchen, cooking.
Kitchen. There's a cook.
Sir, oh yeah, next one.
Shukran
Mm-hmm.
means thanks, and the word is shakara.
Shakara, which means
He thanked.
to thank or he thanked. So Shireen?
Okay. Much reason,
Mm-hmm.
sitting, and Jim, Lam and Sin.
Jim, lam, and sin, which means he
To
sit.
to sit or he sat. Yeah, jalasa is he sat. Next one, Sir Tahira.
Alimun,
Mm-hmm.
learned person or a scholar. And root letters are Ain, Lam, Mim.
Good.
To learn.
To learn or to know. It's more to know. Yeah.
Okay.
Brother Najmul, next one.
Ibadatun,
Mm-hmm.
worship, and ba, and dal,
Good.
to
And
serve.
abada means to
To
worship.
serve,
Yeah,
to
or to
worship.
serve or be a servant to or be slave to. The word also you get is abd, right? Abdullah. Sister Alia, next one.
Muksuru.
Makbah.
Maksuru. Sorry.
Mhm.
Maksurun means broken, and the root word is kasara,
Mhm.
and that means to break.
To
He
break.
broke.
Sister, next one.
Amalun.
A'malun.
Amalun
Mhm.
is deeds or act.
Acts or actions.
So Ain, Mim and Lam. Is it
Okay.
related and to act or what is it?
Amila is on the fifth column. It means he worked, or he acted, or he did something.
The last one is Amirun, a
Mhm.
leader. And root letters are Alif, Mim, and Ra.
Again, it's a Hamza.
Oh, sorry.
Hamza. And
Sorry, yeah. Hamza. Okay. To order,
to order or to command or to.
so Hamza sitting on
Is to
Alif.
lead to, like, to lead something, no?
It's just Amar is like a command
Oh.
or order. An Amir, yeah. So there's someone who leads or someone who commands, basically, someone who gives orders. Yeah. All right. Let's take a break and then we'll do lesson 5.
This is something new that comes on top of Alif. So it starts with-
So Hamza can be root later, right?
What were you looking for Quran?
I actually got it up, but there was. I hope this doesn't fall. Alright, so go to the back of lesson 5 when we were reading all this stuff about verbs. So we read points 1 and 2, page 16 and 17.
I think we did one only.
No, we read till the end of 2. The last thing on 2 was رَأَيْتُ بِلَالًا وَسَأَلْتُهُ. I saw Bilal and I asked him. Is everyone on there? It's
page?
it's page 17 in the back. Do you have this book? Yeah, so it's 17 on the back, the key. Not the front of the book, the back of the book. Yeah, the key.
Yeah.
So we read that.
We did 2, 3.
So we're gonna read the next 2 points and then we'll start. We'll probably just be done with that. And so the point for 1 and 2 was basically what we concluded on Friday with, which was what? That Arabi is cool because you can put the verb and the subject and the object all in one word. Okay? So I have something like the verb sa'ala. Right? Sa'ala means he asked. So this is sa'ala, but where do you get he? This is asked, but where do you get he?
Hidden.
It's hidden inside it, right? So, but if I say something like they asked, sa'alu,
Yeah. Wa.
they
Wow.
asked, then the wow is my subject. They asked. Okay? And sa'al, sa'alu is the asked part.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, you can't just say they asked, they have to ask someone, right? Or they have to ask something. So what you do is you take whatever they asked. If it's a pronoun, you can attach it to the verb itself. So I'll write this here. Sa'ala. Okay. Sa'ala. So he asked right now, I don't know, it's just he. Let's say I'm talking about like Ahmed, and Ahmed is a student, and Ahmed goes to school, and Ahmed is sitting in class, and Ahmed is reading the book, and I say, and I want to say, he asked the teacher. Okay? So, how would I say he asked the teacher? Sa'ala al-mudarris, alright? So all I would do is I would put mudarris after sa'ala, because I'm saying he asked, and I want to say the teacher, so I'm going to say al-mudarris. Here I'm going to say al-mudarrisa, right? Why? Because mudarris is mansub because it's the object of the sentence, right? It's the object of the sentence. So he's the object of who Ahmad is asking. Okay? Now, let's say he wants to keep asking him more questions. So I can keep saying Sa'al al-mudarris, he asked the teacher this, Sa'al al-mudarris this, Sa'al al-mudarris this, or I can start substituting a pronoun for al-mudarris, which is who. Right? So instead of, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start writing Sa'ala, but I'm going to attach the verb now, who. So now it becomes Sa'alahu, he asked him. Okay? Now, here, al-mudarris, you put a fatha at the end, right? Because it was mansub, because it's an object. Why is there a dhamma here?
Pronoun doesn't change.
Pronoun does not change. The word for it is called mabni.
Mabni.
So pronouns are mabni, they don't change their harakat due to like being majroor or being mansub. Okay? So sa'alahu is he asked him. What's he asked them, a group of men. Sa'alahum, he asked us.
Sa'alana.
Sa'alana. What would be, how about, so now let's go to sa'alu, they asked. How would you say they asked him?
Sa'alu.
Sa'aluhu. So I'm going to say sa'alu. And actually in this case, I'm going to take out the alif because it's no longer, the waw is no longer the last letter. So I'm just going to say sa'aluhu. They asked him. Okay? How would you say they asked you, a man?
Salu. Ta. Salu.
You're thinking verbs. Think pronouns.
Yeah.
Ka.
Salu ka.
Sa'aluka. They asked you. Okay? In the Quran it says yas'alunaka. Right? They ask you. That's yas'alu is the present form of sa'ala. Sa'ala yas'alu, they ask. But yas'alunaka, they ask you. Okay? So sa'aluhu is they asked him. How about they asked them?
Salukum.
Them, a group of men, third person.
Hum. Salukum.
What's them?
Home.
Hum. So sa'alu,
Home.
hum. Okay? So don't mess up. You know all of the pronouns, right? Hu, huma, hum, ha, huma, hunna, ka, kuma, kum, ki, kuma, kunna, ni, ya, and then na. Okay? So we're going to keep reviewing those, inshallah. Alright, so that was point 1 and I guess more point 2. But I'll give another homework on Wednesday. That'll have something to do with that. Let's read 3. Alright, 3 is on the middle of page 17. This is actually a tajweed. It's related to tajweed, so we've already sort of done this. The noon of tanween, it says, is followed by a kasra if the next word commences with hamzatul wasl. So the example they give is shariba hamidun al-ma'a. The way that you pronounce this when you're speaking is shariba hamidun al-ma'a. So we've seen this rule before when we were doing the Quran, right? Because when you have something like shariba hamidun al-ma'a, Hamid drank the water. So in the Quran you'll see a small noon with a kasra. And that's to tell you to read it like shariba hamidun al-ma'a. So all you're doing is just connecting the, because if you say hamidul ma'a, it's not right. If you say shariba hamidul ma'a, hamidunul ma'a or something, it's not right. So you have to put a noon with a kasra. It's just a rule of reading. So basically the rule is a tanween followed by al. Or hamzatul wasl, sorry. So this is hamzatul wasl, right? Al-ma. So tanween followed by hamzatul wasl, you put noon with a kasra.
So we pronounce the noon.
Which one now is what?
Do we have to pronounce the noon?
You have to say the noon with the kasra. Shariba hamidun nilma. Hamidun nilma.
In Quran, do we have noon every place is like that or no?
But it's in some scripts. And yeah, you may or may not see it. So it says here, if the kasra is not added, it is difficult to pronounce the letter combination noon lam. This is called iltiqa as-sakinain, the combination of two vowelless letters. Okay. Whenever such a combination occurs, it is removed by inserting a kasra between them. Here are some more examples. So sa'ala bilalun ibnahu. So if you were to say this without the noon kasra, you would say sa'ala bilal ibnahu. Okay, which doesn't sound right. So you put a noon with a kasra. Sa'ala bilalu nibnahu. Nibnahu. Okay. And sami'a faysalun al-adhana. So you say sami'a faysalun nil-adhana. Faisal heard the adhan. Everyone clear on that? It's similar, like you'll see it in the Quran. Number 4, we have learned earlier that most Arabic verbs have only 3 letters which are called radicals, or they're also called
Root.
roots or kalima. The first letter is called the first radical, the fa kalima, right? The second letter is called the second radical, ayn kalima, and the third is called the third radical, the lam kalima. So here they give the example kataba, right? Note that in the madi, what's madi?
Past.
Past tense. Note that in the past tense, the first and third radicals have a fatha. The second radical may have a fatha or a kasra, or it may also have a dhamma. Okay? But in the book they don't give you the example. In the sheet that you have, you know that there's qaruba, karuma, right? So it can get a dhamma too.
So the first radical never changes in the
The
past
first
tense?
and the third radical in the basic verbs, they stay fatha.
For Mazi.
Yeah, for Madi. But when we get to Mudari, which is present and future, they will change.
I have read in some past tense that the first radical also changes to Dhamma. Like passive, when you're making past passive.
Yeah, that's passive voice. So we're gonna talk about that in Dhamma.
But it's still Mazi though.
It's still Madi, but it's a completely different passive. All right, so we don't have time. So go for exercise for the homework. Lesson 5, do number. Okay, do exercise number 4. It's on page 32. And what you have to do. Alright, so if you have a pencil or a pen, write the instructions down. Draw one line under the subject and 2 lines under the object. One line under the subject, 2 lines under the object.
Yeah.
So it says عين الفاعل والمفعول به في الجملة الآتية. Specify the subject and the object in the following sentences. ضع خطا واحدا تحت الفاعل وخطين تحت المفعول. So put 1 line under the subject and 2 lines under the object. واشكل آخر كل منهما.
In the back, it's translated.
It's translated.
Yeah, what you have to do.
Also, the other part is you have to put fatha and dhamma on the last letter of every subject and object. So the first one is kasara at-tifl al-qalam. So for at-tifl, you have to put a dhamma because it's the subject, and al-qalam, you have to put a fatha on the meme because it's the object. Okay? So just do exercise 4. Any questions? Jazakallahu khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you.